2004 F150 FX4. Going to be doing a remove and replace of the outer tie rod. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to get the tire off, and then we'll get this side of the vehicle jacked up, and we'll get at some disassembly. 13/16 to get the lug nuts off. Once you have the tire off, you want to get this outer tie rod, 13/16. Don't take it all the way off. This will come off relatively easy. Sometimes, this is just a sand hammer because I know I can tap on this, it's going to come right out. But sometimes, if it's, especially if the outer tie rod's been in there a long time, you'll need to get a steel hammer and beat on this outer portion where the tie rod spindle slides into in order to get that to pop and release. But like I said, since mine's already loose, we'll put that right back on there. That's how you get it loose and off. All right, so let's get into this replacing the outer tie rod. We've got it off the knuckle assembly, and there's a couple things you want to keep in mind when we're replacing this, at least to get this close. When you're replacing something like this, really any suspension components in the front, but when you talk about outer tie rods, for sure you're going to want to be considering an alignment. So let's get into this. So here's the new one, and they had not put the Zerk fitting on yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Looks like that might be 8mm. All right, it's a 7mm. You don't have to crush this on there, just snug it. I'm gonna call that good. What I'll do here is I'm gonna take my calipers and I'm gonna measure from that jam nut as best I can to where the face of that outer tie rod go, and it's looking like about 120mm. And I'm trying to show here, and that's about what I have on the new one as well. Eyeballing it off of what I did up here, I think they're pretty much identical. You've got a couple things here to be mindful of. One, you have threads in here, so the outer tie rod does screw on, but you have this jam nut here, and you don't want that to move. Or I should say move as little as possible, at least until you get the alignment done in the vehicle, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you what I do to kind of help. Let's say I'm gonna get some painter's glue tape, wrap around right up next to that nut so that I can gauge if that's moved or not. I'll keep that jam nut still while I loosen up the outer tie rod. Just a nylon brush. It's super dirty, not much on anything like that, but look at that. Little brake cleaner. Alright, so what I'm going with is a 15/16 on the tie rod body itself, and then a 24 up on the jam nut. But again, what we want to do is we want to loosen tie rod, but not move the jam nut. Trying to line it. Good place. You can mark it too if you want to. That might be I'm just using lace tape as visual. Just mark it. Scrunches up at all, because I know it's flat up against the nut. You could use some kind of a visual aid other than tape. You go on there as well. Mark the nut just as well. It's really not in bad shape. The boot's not torn or anything like that, but I know it's original. Well, yeah, when you compare it to, it's super loose. I mean, That's about what you can say is going on there. Just take the new one, work it all the way back up. Now we want to snug it down good. Oh, that's bigger. So the replacement move one is a 1.16". Oriented right. There we go. Alright. Some fighting to get it up in there. 13/16". We're done. That's how you replace the outer tie rod. And like I said, do it in pairs. I mean, if one's obviously shot and the other one's relatively new, only do one. I get that. But consider the alignment. I'm going to get the grease gun and shift to the other side. So I hope you found this informative. Hope you learned something. Any comments or questions, drop those down below. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Have a great day. Touch out.